Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're gonna have ourselves a 1v1 on Kholodny Ferma. Our heroes today are going to be Mr. aNIIIWuff, I think. aNIIIWuff playing as the Austir or Wehrmacht faction in the red. And his opponent is going to be none other than CaptainSPrice, playing as the US forces in the blue. Price laying down some barbed wire in a very particular fashion here, where it basically blocks off access to the house, and if units actually exit the house, it would also be clumped up and trapped there. Pretty sneaky. Doing it on both sides, so actually completely denying access to this house. That is, wow, okay. Interesting. Can you not block it off if it's just like one? It has to be like that. I don't know. I guess it doesn't. Anyways, we also see CaptainSPrice going for a lot of rear echelons. That is quite a bit. We have 6 rear echelons on the field right now. Wolf, for his part, went for tier 1, pretty much what you would expect. 3 grunts on the field. He's going to need an MG, I can only assume. And we see wire also getting laid down and all over the place there for Wuff. He doing it in a more defensive fashion, I suppose. As we see the rear echelons also laying down some tank traps that allows them to have some heavy cover, which is always pretty cool. Down south, Pyos and rear echelons engaging. Pyos do get the upper hand here on the rear echelons as they close the distance, so the rear echelons are having to backpedal. And now we see a ambulance getting called onto the field for Sprice. I haven't seen rear echelon spam yet in this patch, so let's see how good it actually is. So down south, the rear echelons are still engaging against the Pyos. The Pyos have taken some damage. They lost one of their guys. They're doing a lot of damage to the initial squad, but a second squad is being brought into the mix, so the Pyos are forced to retreat, otherwise they would die. Could have potentially done a little bit more damage to the other squad, but, well, didn't work out. Our rear echelon squad did go down. I missed it completely. I don't know which one died, but we'll catch that. Let's see, that was at around 3 minutes. Yeah, I'll catch that. Probably saw it already. So anyways, engagements continue all over the place. We see Wolf going for a mortar instead of an MG. It's an interesting decision, considering that, well, I'm pretty sure he knows that rear echelons are currently invading. Half-track has been brought onto the field. It gets fausted in the face, forcing it to back off. It does suffer damage to the engine, but it's still alive. Second rear echelon squad almost going down, but it stays alive at 1 man and pushes forward. Another squad moving up to replace the rear echelons as they have a little bit of heavy cover by that tank trap. Second and third squad coming up for the flank on the Grenadier squad. Grenadier squad taking quite a bit of damage. We see another rear echelon squad trying to hold the line against the Grens, but the Grens are not going to be able to kill them off very quickly. Grens in the north, forced to retreat. 1 rear echelon squad is down to 1 man. It's also forced to retreat as well as the engagement down here in the south continues to go. More Grens pushing up to the north. Rear echelon squads taking cover behind the tank trap, getting some good shots there on the Grens, although not a lot of damage going down. And the Grens return fire, doing significantly more damage as, of course, they have better training. Down south, the Gren squad being utilized to cap. The mortar is being brought up onto the field, going straight into the center. And we see that these Grens actually managed to get inside the house, so as much as Sprice wanted to deny them the house, they were still able to get in there somehow. Not exactly sure how, I didn't see it, but I don't think I need to put a picture-in-picture in there for that, so yeah, we'll just, say it happened. So, rear echelon still on the field for Sprice. We got 2 of them damaged back at base. They need a little bit of healing, but we saw... Ooh, interesting. Weapon racks getting unlocked. Captain now produced and now out in the field, so that's going to help out against pretty much anything. Also, I did get clarification that no, the captain never actually had a bar. I don't know why I was thinking that. I was saying in the comments that, yeah, I mean, that actually doesn't make any sense for a squad to have both 2 bazookas, a bar, and a Thompson. I mean, that's pretty much overkill. And make it too strong, in my opinion. So yeah, I don't know why. I got confused. I mean, I know that the lieutenant has a bar and the Thompson, so maybe for some reason I was thinking of that. Anyways, Grand's getting upgraded with LMGs, helping out even more against the rear echelons. Remember that the rear echelons will be able to get 5-man squads once they get Veterancy 2, so that makes them particularly good, which is why basically the rear echelon spam kind of works. Pretty weak at the start, but once you get that Veterancy rolling, then they actually become pretty strong. And now we have bars equipped on the rear echelons. Volleys and bars also help quite a bit. And oh, the Grand Squad is caught inside the house. They try to pop out the other door, pop out of the front, and they are unable to escape. So basically what Spry set up here is a death trap. The death trap of the barbed wire. The squads are able to get inside the house, but they're unable to leave. And down goes the squad. That is a sneaky, sneaky maneuver. One that you should try yourself, because that is freaking hilarious. Behind the lines, rear echelon squad going for the cutoff, although the center point is still capped by Mr. Woof. Nope, gets decapped now, so the cutoff is effective. But for that small amount of time, the southern resources we're still providing. Rear echelon squad trying to go for the fuel. The Grens will try to stop them from decapping it as the other Gren squad captures the point, so they will be able to... Wow, look at that, the power of the rear echelon squads. They take some shots and collapse a house in an attempt to bring the fear of God into the Grens, but didn't work. They are, of course, not sentient. They are AI, and you control them yourself. So, Wolf managing to push back, gets himself Tech 2, or Tier 2, not Tech 2. Panzer Grenadier on the field now. Panzer Grenadiers should do incredibly well against rear echelons. However, we see a Steward coming onto the field, so that Panzer Grenadier squad is probably going to need some Shreks, so it won't be able to do too much anti-infantry, at least not for long. And, of course, with Tier 2, we're probably going to see a Pack-Gun also coming into play once that vehicle reveals itself. So far, though, we do have bars on the rear echelons. Is it double bars? Looks to be double bars. One bar? I don't know. So anyways, rear echelons continue to push forward. Grand squad's unable to stop the sheer onslaught. Captain getting some shots into the church, trying to dislodge those units inside with the bazookas. More rear echelons doing some damage. No veterans need to acquire just yet. Grens, Panzer Grenadiers pushing from the north are going to come and help the Pios inside the church. Pios inside the church pulling out and retreating. Gren squad going to be poking its head in and getting itself shot in all directions, but it can also, you know, do pretty well. No access to grenades with rear echelons, which is one of the downsides, I suppose, but that means you don't actually have to invest into those. So the Steward hitting the field right now. Panzer Grenadier squad taking some good damage there by the Steward. Does not have enough to upgrade to their Shreks, so it's forced to retreat. Grand squads do have access to Fausts, and we do have a pack gun getting produced, which is already on the field. So Wolf should be able to push back. Steward getting some shots in there, destroys the cover of the Grens. The Grens are not going to take damage from the rear echelons and forced to retreat. And we have Veterancy 2 acquired on one of the first rear echelon squads, meaning that that squad can upgrade to 5. The ambulance, we saw it on the field. It's currently back here a little bit more aggressively, but not that far. It's not that far up front. But we do see the pack gun moving up. Pack gun should be able to get a shot off on the Steward, forcing it to back off. Takes a shot to the face, and Sprice backs it off, as expected. So shots fly, getting a little bit more damage into that house, getting it damaged more than halfway. But there it goes. Ambulance pushes forward, places itself in a weird angle here. Yeah, it doesn't have enough to reinforce, I don't think. Oh, there you go. Needs to stop, of course. It doesn't do it on the move. It can heal on the move, but it can't reinforce on the move. But yeah, it needs to be parked in territory, and that allows you to reinforce. Otherwise, if it's moving or if it's outside of your friendly territory, you just can't do it. So rear echelons all clumping together. Looks like they're all going to put their repairing efforts on that Steward. Should be able to get it back in working order in no time flat. Down south, we have still more rear echelons with bars trying to fight against the Grens. Those bars are helping out quite a bit, but not enough. We only have one bar on that squad. Probably another bar on that one. Volley fire does work pretty well with the bar, I think, unless it got changed. But with the flanking Grand Squad, well, almost actually kills that Grand Squad down there. Can it actually make it out? LMG is going to take some shots on the retreat. Nah, decides to leave him alive and goes away. So that is 3, 6, 7 rear echelons with one that can, what am I trying to say?
Razor wires up.
I actually lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I got a message on my phone and I stared away. Anyways, he has... Oh, yeah, one that died, so... It would have been 8, and he's actually producing the 8th one right now. So, yeah, CaptainSPrice going hard on those rear echelons. 5-man squad now in effect. This one is pretty much the M... Well, not the MVP, but, you know, the A squad, the veterans. Second squad down south getting also veterancy 2, meaning another 5-man squad. So that just keeps rolling the power of the rear echelons. Seems very cheesy in a sense, you know, because usually when you're spamming a type of unit consistently, it, you know, kind of feels like you shouldn't. But one of the cool things of the rear echelons that they do kind of scale well, you know, because of their veterancy bonuses. So Wuff, getting himself the mobile defense doctrine, calls in a Puma, probably to try and deal with that Steward. Steward does have to be careful. It can die very quickly to the Puma, but the Puma has to be careful as well. We do have a captain on the field with bazookas, and the Steward can stun the Puma very easily and get the Puma killed in a, you know, in a couple of seconds. So, you know, while the Steward itself probably can't go toe-to-toe against the Puma, you know, on a one-on-one fight because it would probably die. Oh, nice hit by the mortar. Getting that damage on the captain. Puma moves up, takes a shot at the Steward, but it misses. Oof, that mortar is actually getting some very accurate shots in there. The captain is forced to retreat. But yeah, like I said, yeah, if the Puma overextends itself or anything, the Steward can just shell shock it, stun it, and the captain with its bazookas can finish it off as it does more damage. But yeah, I don't think any of these players are going to be sacrificing any of that right now. Sprice for his part went for the armor company. Hasn't really done anything with it just yet. I mean, doesn't exactly need to, but I'm going to gather that the reason he's going that is going to be for the Collins, the M10, and the bulldozer. So he's just going to be using rear echelons to have a lot of staying power and infantry power on the field, and then use those Collins for that. I don't know. We'll see what ends up transpiring here, but for now, CaptainSPrice having a lot of presence on the field with those rear echelons, able to put up a lot of fight, those bars just being able to keep those rear echelons relevant and not have them, you know, become obsolete very quickly. Mortar doing a lot of work. The mortar now has veterancy 2, 7 kills so far, but that also means a lot of damage has gone down. Remember, accuracy and rate of fire goes up at veterancy 2, so yeah, you can see right there it starts to take effect as the volleys just continue to go. That rear echelon squad may die here, needs to retreat. Panzer Grenadier squad coming on top of it. Looks like CaptainSPrice is going to lose his veterancy. No, Puma trying to get in some shots. Very low in health, destroys the tank instead, and the veteran squad makes it out of there. We have a third veteran squad now on the field for Sprice. So yeah, I mean, again, those rear echelons just keep getting stronger and stronger. Still, you know, they're no match for like Panzer Grenadier on a one-on-one, stuff like that, but just the sheer number of them has a very big effect. AT gun on the field, getting a shot there on the Panzer Grenadiers, the extra guy trying to shoo them away. Rear echelon squad right here, just covering the point as we see a Pio squad with the flamethrower going behind for the victory points. Victory points are down to 277 for Wuff. That is pretty much the, well, not, I wouldn't say the entirety of the strategy, but the effect that having so many rear echelons on the field has is that you can control a lot of territory very easily. And that means victory points are probably going to be in your favor, as we see CaptainSPrice is sitting comfortably at 476 since he controls, you know, most of the land. Can have infantry literally all over the map at the same time, so yeah. So center map, we see a big push here. This is going to be allowed because Wuff did not go for any MGs. Could have at least gotten one to try and stop, you know, the masses at least, you know, the bigger clumps of infantry like this. But since he didn't go for one at all, you know, pretty much allows CaptainSPrice to just push forward and be unimpeded. Like, yes, the LMGs on the Grens are going to do a lot of damage, they're going to do a lot of work, but they're not going to get them suppressed. Oh, Mortar getting a nice shot in there. Did the squad actually die? Maybe. No, I don't think it died. Just did a little bit of damage. Well, did some good damage. Mortar getting killed off here by all the infantry for Sprice. Now he's going to clear out the Grens inside the church. Out of control goes the Puma, as the AT gun and the Steward combined efforts. Who actually killed it? Does have a vehicle destroyed. Does this get anything? No. Okay, so the Steward was the one that got the killing blow. Shreks, well, not Shreks, bazookas, and the AT gun getting some shots there on the mortar, making sure that nobody can actually take that. Doesn't look like that CaptainSPrice is really has any inclination on wanting to have that mortar. And then he calls in a Wolverine tank destroyer. So yeah, that's what I was assuming. So we're probably not even going to see the Major in this game, considering he has tank destroyers and a big bulldozer. Yeah, I mean, probably. Back at base. Ambulance still healing up everything. Really no point without the Major for the ambulance to be out now. It just needs to heal up all the infantry, so it's going to take some damage. And Wolf, well, see what he can do. Does have access, of course, to the command tank. Does not have the resources for it just yet as far as manpower goes, but probably going to be calling in that. He doesn't have any additional tech, so can't call in anything heavier. Could call in a half track, but I don't see why. A little bit of artifacting there on the graphics. Don't know what that was or what cost it, but it happens. Sorry. Burping. And we see Wolf pushing once again into the center. Rear echelons just all together. Rich has been wrecking the Grand Squad by itself. Not going to be able to put up any amount of fight. LMG Grants inside the church, trying as much as they can, but yeah, again, without an MG, I mean, yes, the MG would still be overwhelmed, but it just allows them to actually do it without any real issues. Mortar really the big threat here, as it does, you know, do a lot of damage to these clumped up units, almost killing out a rear echelon squad outright.
We just lost a unit.
One rear echelon squad did go down. 367, yeah.
Get ready to displace.
The Wolverine back at base, just sitting there. Command tank now on the field as we see a bulldozer Sherman getting called. Stewart is out on the field, harassing units in the north, it looks like. And in the center, the Pio squad is going to try and capture that victory point. Down south, rear echelon squad against the Grens. They do retreat. And we have another rear echelon squad capturing the southern victory point. Grand Squad are going to be trying to hold against them. Taking a lot of damage there on the move as they're moving across the open. There's 2 bars on the rear echelon squad, 5 men in total. That Grand Squad down to 1 man. May actually go down here as the bars are getting some good damage on the retreat. Can they finish him off? Oh, they do. Down goes the Grand Squad. And Wolf, a little bit of a... a little bit of a... losing concentration there. Packard in the center, getting some good damage there on the Sherman Bulldozer. The Sherman Bulldozer, pretty strong. It's actually able to take some decent damage, you know, a little bit more so than the standard Sherman. But of course, the command tank is not able to do too much damage to any tanks, really. So it just kind of scares him off. It stays alive. 3-6. Looks like another rear echelon squad went down. Probably the one down south here. I'll catch that. See if I can catch that. 18 minutes. It's only rear echelon squad, so it's not really that important, so I'm not too worried about putting in picture-in-picture, but since I mentioned that, I'll double-check that and put the note. Stewart in the center, getting stunned there by the pack gun. The pack gun will be taking it down, and down goes the Stewart as the command tank moves up and makes itself useful, killing a vehicle. We do have the Wolverines on the field. Second Wolverine on the field, with the bulldozer still active. It's getting repaired, so, you know, needs a little bit of time, but with 2 Wolverines, that command tank is a goner, and just look at the amount of infantry Wolf has. He just doesn't have anything. Down south, Panzer Grenadier squad, pretty much the only squad that can hope to fight. Could throw a bundle grenade right there, right now. It does. Oh, nice bundle grenade on the captain. Doesn't do as much as he would have wanted to. And all the bars are just getting shots all over the place. Command tank brings itself up. Going to be going for some crushes here on the rear echelons. Oh my god, he crushes an entire squad. A nice kill there by that Panzer IV command tank. He knows what's up. He's in charge. He's the command tank. But the Wolverines are going to make him pay. He's now cut off from his base. No pack gun for support. Wolverines just move up and say hello. And now he's dead. Yeah, even gets the engine damage without having to get AT grenaded, and down goes the command tank, as it well should have because of what he did. Tier 3 going to be going down for Wolf. He's going to be trying to hold on with that. Can he hold on with that? It looks very difficult. He doesn't have a lot of fuel. He's going to have to wait a little while before he can do anything. The command tank is down. Shermans are there. Killed a couple of rear echelons. We're down to 6 in total now. 3 of them veterans, C2, which is pretty good. Vehicle crews popping out of their tanks just to get some repairs going, but they don't actually need repairs.
No wonder I wasn't hitting anything. 90-day wonders. Krauts are taking one of our points. Round's ours. All done over here. They're at 200 points.
And we see the rear echelons just continue to armor, well, not armor up, but arm themselves with more and more bars as Sprice is just spending all his munitions in getting some good guns on those rear echelons, which, yeah, it's paying off. Pretty strong. Almost makes me want to do that. Seems cheap, like I said, but it's pretty fucking strong. Rifleless setup. And it's really that. It's the Veterancy 2 effect where they actually come up to 5, which is really the important thing about rear echelons. Because at 4, yeah, I mean, you know, they're still strong since you can get bars and stuff like that, but, you know, it's getting that 25% increased health and damage, basically. So, up in the north, see engagement here as the rear echelons push forward. The captain still leading the charge. Veterancy 3 acquired, so it's actually able to run pretty quickly forward. Pio Squad and Grens trying to engage against these rear echelons. These rear echelons not doing too well. We do see another mortar on the field for Wolf. Veterancy 2 acquired on that mortar again, only 7 kills, so just the fact that there's so many targets and so many infantry around means that the mortar can pick up very easily. These guys are very clumped up. A nice mortar shot there could have potentially taken out the entire double squads, but they managed to avoid that. And the Grand Squad in the north is forced to retreat as the Pios still hold the line. Quite surprisingly, they are in heavy cover, of course, so they're able to do that. Bulldozer Sherman still in the map, still in the center, going to be defending against the Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers going to be catching the rear echelons on the retreat. Not going to do too much to them, and there goes a shot by the Bulldozer, killing one of the Panzer Grenadiers. The remainder of the squad is still fine. Captain in the north, going to be moving forward. We do have a Teller mine right there. Thompson's a machine gun, allowing the captain to have a decent amount of anti-infantry firepower, but the Panzer Grenadiers will finish it off if it doesn't retreat. It does hit retreat, and it seems like it's going to be making it out of there. Back on still on the field, back here making sure that the tanks don't just overwhelm them. And a big star there on the game, which hadn't been happening in a while, so kind of sad that it's happening again. So many things in the field. Rear echelons still all over the place. We have 2 down south capturing some points. These are 5-man veteran squads with bars, double bars on each of them, so they are able to pump out a lot of damage. Panzer Grenadier squad trying to close the distance, almost gets itself killed, down to 1 man. Can it make it out? No, it cannot. Another pickup there for CaptainSPrice, and Wolf just doesn't really have much else he can do. Panzer Grenadiers up in the north, victory points 110 for Wolf, 462 for Sprice, so yeah, I mean, he's just dominating the map here. And back at base, so many infantry just sitting around, healing themselves by the ambulance. The vehicle crews here coming together to repair the tanks. We see a second Bulldozer Sherman getting called onto the field as a command tank. Once again makes his appearance for Wolf. Interesting decision to go for the command tank, considering that he spent the resources to go for the tier 3. Not the right choice in my opinion. I think, in my opinion at least, I mean, not that it probably would have mattered, considering the situation, but you should have at least gone for the either a Panzer IV or at least a Stug, and then got the command tank. Or he should have canceled tier 3 if he, you know, once he lost the command tank. But, yeah, pretty much just wasting resources and not doing too much there. Bulldozer Shermans moving up to the north, engaging against the Grens. The Grens forced to retreat as rear echelons just move all over the center. The captain leading the charge with its sprint ability. Going to be catching up to a Gren squad, getting some shots off on it. Wolverines moving up straight through the center. The pack gun is being caught as it repositions itself, so it is unable to get any shots off on the tanks. The tanks move themselves up to the north. They could actually hit that Teller mine, which is not a good idea, or not a good thing. Well, of course, it's never a good idea to hit a mine, but it's not a good thing there for Sprice. The unit got lost. I don't even know what it was. But the command tank is now getting surrounded here by the Wolverines. Wolverines will be taking out that command tank. Command tank popping smoke in front of it. but the Wolverines still can see it as it moves out of the way. Wolverines turning their turrets, which are pretty slow, but they do manage to finish them off. One Wolverine will be going down here to the pack gun as a Faust goes off and brings it out of control. Pack gun turning itself around to try to face the escaping tank. We'll get some shots off on it, but we do still have the bulldozer up in the north. Second bulldozer moving up. We'll probably be hitting the mine. No, it's actually just going to wreck through everything and move its way back. Pack gun still trying to hold against the front. Ooh, trying to sneak a shot there on the Wolverine. Does not manage to make it out of there. A rear echelon squad is what died, apparently, since there are Browning on the field. But CaptainSPrice is just going to continue to build those. Bulldozer Shermans now making their assault onto the base. This isn't game over. I mean, I don't really know what else Wuff can do. He doesn't have anything on the field. As a Panzer Grenadier squad that doesn't have Shreks. Out on the field, Grens that can, of course, Faust, but that's about it. They don't really have much else they can do. An AT gun that has been decrewed. Grens that are trying to push towards it, but they're not going to be able to. It looks like they're trying to make a dash for the north, but the bulldozers are just chasing them down, getting some good shots on them. They can try to retreat, but they're just going to have to run through the bulldozers again. And all the rear echelons right now are back at base. Oh, CaptainSPrice is going to be sending them out. Tier 2 goes down. No, that was Tier 1, right? No. What was that? That was the med bunker. Never mind. Pack gun getting built there by the Tier 2. It is actually going to come into effect, so that looks like maybe what saves Wolf right now. As the pack gun is probably going to push away the bulldozers. Although the bulldozers, two at a time, should be strong enough to actually take out a pack gun. The Grens are just playing ring around the HQ. The pack gun sets itself up, gets a nice shot there on the bulldozer Sherman. The bulldozer Sherman will just get out of the way, and it looks like it's going to spare Wolf his life for now. Grens up in the north retreating as they weren't really able to do too much. We have a lot of infantry just sitting around. Down south, we also have some rear echelons that run into the Panzer Grenadiers, which forces them to retreat. But Wolf did manage to stop the bleed at 62 points. Not for long, though, as, well, Sprice is just able to recover the entire map. Oh, nasty shot there by the Sherman Bulldozer. Getting more shots there on the Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadier will be going down on the retreat there to the Bulldozer Shermans. Shots flying all directions. Oh, it actually makes it out of there alive. Wow. Double pack guns do get recovered there by Wolf, so he's able to push back the Shermans. Sherman's going to be moving back. Did he open up the front of the base? Well, this front, no. This front, no. So, no, it looks like the front of the base is pretty much exposed. So, CaptainSPrice is able to just simply push forward. Going to get a lot of damage in there. And, well, without utilizing an MG, he should be able to actually just pin Wuff in his base. Grant's pushing forward. The infantry backs off. They're going to allow a little bit of territory as we see a third bulldozer Sherman hitting the field. That is a nasty, nasty thing that will be coming out rather soon. Rear echelon on the top, capturing some points. 50 points left for Wolf. And I'm guessing that the game is just going to end with victory points. I don't see any chance in hell here for Wolf. It's unfortunate. Put up a bit of a fight there, but CaptainSPrice just overwhelmed them with rear echelons. Rear echelons down south, still taking cover by this tank. Apparently the wire not enough to deny them the cover. Rifle grenade does go off on top of. Oh, that was a nasty hit there. Nice little morale boost there for Wuff as he eliminates 2 rear echelon squads in one blow. But with 3 bulldozers in his face, 17 points left in his ticker. I mean, that's still game over. Grand squad does go down on the retreat. Second squad will probably go down again on the retreat as they try to make their way out of there. Yeah, actually makes it out of there, but the bulldozers are just going to literally bulldoze through. No, it's going to be victory points. 5 points left, 2 points on the ticker, and that is all she wrote. So that is what rear echelon spam looks like. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remark, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.